And where's the button I need to press to start this? This one, right. Okay, so today we are playing in the Qualifier weekend. I made a couple of changes to the deck since yesterday, which is to say just the sideboard. I cut one card, I don't remember. It was the Voltage Surge, to play a 4th Sunset Revelry, and I cut a Go Blank to play an Elspeth Resplendent. The logic being that I think I want to play Elspeth Resplendent against Anvil decks, but we'll see if that winds up being, like, horribly wrong. It might just actually be, like, a complete mistake, and I might not actually sideboard it in at all. We'll find out as we go. But otherwise, the deck is exactly as I left it. Alright, opponent gets to choose to be on the play. We will keep the hand that has decent potential to cast Fable of the Mirrorbreaker on turn 3. Opponent is on mono green, which potentially gives us a decent reason to want to break expectations on turn 1, but Ray of Enfeeblement won't do anything on turn 2 anyway. Break Expectations potentially gets rid of a 2-drop. They kept instantly, so they're pretty likely to have a 2-drop. I think I'm supposed to default to playing Xander's Lounge tapped because I don't have a good way to follow up Break Expectations on one anyway. Oh, sweet! I can just play Viconia to stop that. Alternatively, now I can set up Fable on 3. I think drawing Raffine's Tower means I'm supposed to ignore this Wilson. Oh, hey, look. A single card I'm allowed to choose with Break Expectations that I'm really happy that I got to choose with Break Expectations. That's nifty. Odds are I'll probably wind up discarding this Ray of Enfeeblement to Diviner of Fates at some point, hoping to hit one of my 2-mana removal spells instead. You turn into a 4/4, is that right? 5/5. Golly, that's big. Colossal Plow. Alright. Concerning, perhaps. Could also be more concerning. I think that's better for me than them. Oh, so Wilson costs 4 to specialize, I see. This doesn't gain vigilance in any way, does it? No. I believe I should just play Fable and start trying to develop the mana advantage. Yeah, that's not so surprising. They attack for 5. Viconia actually has merit here because it can exile Wilson before they can activate the ability from the graveyard. I do want a land. Do I want Expressive Iteration? I think I don't. Okay. Diviner of Fates finds what? Break Expectations. Do I want Break Expectations? If I discard Fable, I'm guaranteed to get another Fable. I could play Haunted Ridge, Break Expectations my opponent. Attack with a 2/2, hold up Ray. Holding up Ray doesn't accomplish anything against Wilson, because it's got Ward anyway. That makes me want to Break Expectations. So I think we then discard Ray because we might as well play a removal spell for Wilson on another turn. No, we find Ray. Okay. Expectations. We exile a Wilson. Sure. Ought I to set up a double block on Wilson? Probably not in a scenario where my opponent can now pump Wilson up to being a 6/6. Alright, that means to me I attack with this 2/2. If the opponent decides to pump Wilson and then crew an attack with Plow, we actually can Ray it. Shrinks it to not having enough power to get through Diviner of Fates. Yeah, opponent does not opt for that. Unsurprising. Okay, Fable flips. And we have Calim. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Alright, what are my options here? I can play Fable of the Mirror Breaker and Ray Wilson if I want to. And I'm probably supposed to want to. Turns Wilson into a 2/5. Could also Calim the Wilson if I wanted to. Which draws a card with Diviner of Fates, which is pretty appealing. But doing that allows them to attack with Plow, which isn't bad into Ray. I think I'm better off just Fabling and holding up Ray on Wilson. Alternatively, I could play Viconia. I think playing Viconia is wrong. I'm not super concerned if they activate Wilson to perpetually pump something. Mammoth, sure. That crews Plow if they have a land drop, which they do. Okay. Interesting. Does this draw a card? No. Does that mean that I tap down the Plow and accept a triple block on Wilson? Alternatives, chump block the Plow, block Wilson with everybody. Now, I think it means I just Calim the Plow. I would like to find more Calims. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Lae'zel to get back Diviner of Fates. Yes, very big mammoth. Admittedly, sort of annoying, but survivable. I really don't like Ray, but I have to admit it's like the only thing I can do with the extra mana anyway. I know I'm missing the land drop. I guess I don't want the Viconia at this point because we've lost the window to do anything about the bear in the graveyard anyway. So I think we just get rid of that and hope to draw land. You know, failing that, Lae'zel's cool. So get back the Diviner of Fate. think I'm happy to get rid of the Fable here. Then at the end of turn, we copy the Diviner. How many Fables have I gotten rid of? All 4. So I can't really discard Fable profitably now. Power Word kill. We like that a lot. Am I just getting rid of the Diviner of Fates because I want every other card? And that actually draws a card? Or do I keep Diviner of Fates because I kind of feel like I need Diviner of Fates and I just get rid of the Fable and don't actually draw any cards off of it? What do I most want this other Lae'zel to be? Red? I think I do discard the Diviner of Fates. Okay, so we could have discarded Calim. Land drop, sure, 7, 8. So I can trade off Lae'zel and my token for the Mammoth. Well, not even trade, just lose the Lae'zel. Be fine with that? Yeah, I mean, I've got the other Lae'zel anyway. I imagine they concede when I play the other Lae'zel and bring back a second Diviner of Fates. Or they concede now. That works too. I mean, I do have onboard Reflection Diviner, which is, you know, decent. Break Expectations was, like, kind of stellar that game, which is interesting. Not what I would have expected. Huh. That said, I'm not in love with Break Expectations on the draw. Elspeth Resplendent might actually have some chances here, but I have to admit, I'm not entirely certain my mana base really gets to aggressively play Elspeth on curve. Soul Shatter's appealing. Soul Servitudes are appealing, I think. I think I would rather play Ray over Void Rend. Yeah, I think that's what we ship. Ray is weird in this matchup because shrinking their creatures often lets me win combat. So it just functions more as a combat trick than a removal spell. And like the tempo of it being very cheap starts to matter more than the flexibility of it actually being a kill spell. I think I still keep this because Lae'zel's excellent, but yeah, I don't have good expectations for this. Yeah, Tenacious Puff doesn't help. Alright, Forsaken Crossroads is a white source. No 2-drop. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's definitely not a worst case thing. Okay, Sundown Pass is interesting. I think we go black untap here, and then play Viconia. And lets me play Xander's Lounge next turn while holding up 2 Ray of Enfeeblements. And 2 Ray of Enfeeblements with Viconia in play are pretty reasonable ways to win combat even through Tenacious Pup trigger. Yeah. Okay. So they're attacking with Pack Leader, but they don't currently represent the ability to draw a card with it. I have to Ray it a second time at the end of combat to actually kill it, which isn't great. But I think I'm supposed to spend my mana even if it means kind of throwing away cards. Nothing from the opponent. Interesting. Yeah. Not too surprised by the Snakeskin Veil, but happy to have made them use it. Turns into a bit of a problem for Lae'zel. I wonder if I then don't want to Lae'zel this turn. It's probably fine. I think I'm probably Lae'zeling discarding Calim next turn. They have to throw away a pup if they want to draw a card with a Pack Leader, or just activate the Pack Leader, but then they don't have the mana to play. Yeah. Oddity's kind of a bummer. That's a lot more damage than I wanted to take this turn. That's also a lot more damage than I want to take this turn. Soul Servitude. Alright, well, that's what we're discarding, because at this point I actually need to tap down Pack Leader. On the other hand, I could keep Servitude up. That doesn't sound appealing. I could also still discard the Calim and hold up Ray plus Servitude. Servitude just killing the pup isn't exactly exciting, though. Alright. Yeah, well, the natural growth is going to be a problem. So let's see, this becomes a 10-10. Ray shrinks it to 4-9. That's still not really manageable. So we kind of have to Ray it before it can do that. Becomes a 2-8. No, I don't have quite enough hard removal spells here. Tenacious Pup stopping the Edict. I was thinking that I wanted the Edicts to play around Snakeskin Veil, but maybe I just need to play around Tenacious Pup by playing the Void Rends instead. Oh, I should have exiled my own Calim with Viconia. Okay, need a hard removal spell here. Nah, I won't do it. Okay. Now that we're on the draw, maybe I try the Void Rends instead. Because we definitely drew way too many rays that game. I mean, they did end up having some use, but not enough use. And the Void Rend actually hitting the enchantment, I think, is interesting. Alright, take the play. No, I don't think that's a keepable hand, considering nothing's castable. This is more keepable. What do we get rid of? Probably the duplicate Fable. Black, Scry, Diviner, no. I actually have to choose whether I want to play Diviner on 3 or Fable on 3 here. I really want to play Fable on 3, but if they kill the 2/2, I'm in trouble. I think the Void Rend means that I'm supposed to play this on white, not the red for the... Okay. Don't have to choose. Good work, mana base. 2/2 Wilson, sure. Wilson lines up poorly against Fable token. But they probably either have a Snakeskin Veil or a removal spell, though either would stop them from playing a 3-drop. Still, I am forced to choose. If they attack with Wilson, do I block or not? I think I block because I don't think that I care about having access to 5 mana next turn. Oh, they're not even going to bluff it. Okay. I think I discard nothing. Hold on to Ray here. Now I do, because I'm definitely flooded on expensive spells. Soul Servitude versus Void Rend is interesting. I think I'd rather have Servitude, although the Void Rend actually answering that 5 mana enchantment could be really, really critical here. I think I hedge my bets and get rid of Soul Servitude. Power Word Kill. Okay. Meaning I could attack with this 2/2. If they block with Mammoth, I can Ray to kill the Mammoth. If not, I have Power Word Kill up. Yeah, I think I have an incentive to want to do this. If they have the fight spell plus Snakeskin Veil next turn to fight Diviner with the Mammoth, and protect it with Snakeskin Veil, that's kind of a pain. There's the Mammoth Pump. Do they just activate Wilson? That'd be good for me, because then I could Power Word Kill the Mammoth. Or if they tap out for a 4-drop. Sweet. Okay, let's let them make attacks thinking that they have both of these. I believe that I am supposed to Void Rend this Wilson while they are tapped out from Snakeskin Veil, and then hold up Soul Shatter. I will decline to pay for Ward, because Void Rend can't be countered. Now we get to fight, and I hold up Soul Shatter to play around Snakeskin. If they try to fight spell me, Soul Shatter probably answers that. We've got Reflection, Diviner of Fates combo, which gets to go get 2 instants by discarding Ray of Enfeeblement. Invoke the Ancients. Okay, well, that's solid-ish. Kill a 4/5. They have a 4/5 with trample. I have the ability to Viconia Wilson. Should I? Probably. Discard Ray, draw 2 instants. Infernal Grasp is fine. Soul Servitude not killing the spirit token's pretty annoying. Whew! Alright. Fable Diviner continues to be good. Whee! What was the card? The doubled power and toughness that we just saw from the opponent. Alright, well, that's a mulligan. That's reasonable. What do we get rid of here? Turn 1, turn 2. This would be a decent 7-card hand. It's probably the Expressive Iteration. Because this is turn 2, this is turn 3. Yeah, so it's definitely the Expressive Iteration. Jetmir's Garden, so probably some kind of Revelry deck. Break Expectations, not bad at taking Revelry out of their hand, though. They have Revelry, they have 1 unknown land. They have a Trelisara that starts growing next turn, which is pretty inconvenient, but you gotta just take Revelry. I can't take the risk that they've got a blue or a green or a red land in hand. They get a card that doesn't do anything. That's cool. Are you a cleric? You are. You're a cleric too. Yuck. You're all clerics. Gross. Being on the draw is not going well here. What I really need to do is discard into a Diviner and then find a lot of removal spells from there on out. Huh. Okay. It pumps the Trelisara a lot, but doesn't in... Oh, I see. Playing the Prosperous Innkeeper means they can captain next turn. Sure. Think we gotta get rid of the lands. No, no creatures? Really? Okay. That's pretty awful. Attacking with the 2/2 because I really have to pump Lae'zel this turn. Alright, we're living by the mercy of our top decks. Lae'zel makes some chump blockers for the Trelisara. Actually, Lae'zel... No, Lae'zel doesn't threaten a trade with the Trelisara. They play creatures pre-combat. I really have to hit Diviner of Fates here pretty hard. Diviner of Fates drawing an instant would be ideal. Could trade everything with Trelisara. Inquisitor Captain eventually comes down. No, I don't think so. There's Diviner of Fates. That was what had to get to happen. Oh, I can't play you yet. Okay, that's fine. Alright, instant, 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 instant. No, Fable. Which I can't play this turn. Rather pump Diviner of Fates, though. Alright, more chump blocking. There's a good chance the Voice of the Blessed just gains flying here and I die. No removal spells against that deck is pretty not ideal. Now let's see. Is Elspeth good against it because it can give stuff flying? I feel like no. Is Break Expectations actually decent against this deck? Soul Shatters of questionable use against Inquisitor Captains. Void Rend is an option. But, like, I'm not unhappy with how Break Expectations worked there. Took out Revelry, which... Oh, no. I'm supposed to bring in Fracture and Void Rend against Revelry decks. I know that. It just takes a bit to wake up. Okay, so Viconia can also come out because that's not a card that I'm super interested in this matchup. Although, I guess one Viconia does have the potential to find... or just to be a blocker, so I probably don't hate one Viconia. Okay, we take the play. This is functional. We'll need to draw some lands and some card advantage. Oh, man. I really want to keep the Fable. Can I keep the Fable if my mana base just... No, I need lands. Okay, Lunarch Veteran's annoying. Ignorable. Not annoying. The opposite of annoying. So we have Fracture, we have Ray, we have, like, a lot of things to do while we miss land drops. Angel of Unity's annoying in that it can make a angel that survives Ray. Okay. I don't love missing land drops. But if I'm missing land drops, at least removal spells are okay top decks, but I really want to be able to get this Citystalker down at some point. I think we grasp that. Already got a duplicate. Cool, 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 cool. That's a tap land. Am I okay with that? Probably not, actually. Like, Citystalker kind of has to be next turn or bust, I think, before they start to just run out of cards in hand. Whoa. They don't actually have any cards in hand that do anything? Okay. Well, I guess I didn't have a choice on the Crossroads. Citystalker blocks the veterans, but not the flyers on the other side? That's going to be weird. I think I want mana at this point. Yeah, so we're taking 2 damage a turn for the foreseeable future. Yuck. Yuck. How many removal spells am I going to have to use on these phantoms? At least my opponent can't mitigate the fact that they're flooding out as much as I can. Okay. Expressive's not bad. Does deny us Void Rend this turn. Okay. Real magic cards. Unfortunately, I can only play one of them. And the only one that I can actually play this turn anyway is Calim. So that's pretty awkward. I think I would prefer Calim to the other two, unfortunately. I do think that I probably cycle Calim this turn. I have no desire to allow my opponent to scry. This is so weird. That's pretty awful. Potentially should have held that for Fable. I think I take this 1 damage for the time being. Lae'zel getting white here is pretty interesting, but holding up Void Rend is also super interesting, so I don't think I Lae'zel this turn. The opponent top decks the 2/4 Anthem Angel this turn. I really need to be able to Void Rend it. Because your captain is away, they could do that. Skyclave Apparition targeting Citystalker. Sure. Do I have to ignore that? What's remaining in my deck? 1 Ray, 1 Power Word, kill. As far as removal spells for Luminous Phantom go, and Calim's, one of which is coming pretty soon. But maybe not soon enough. This hurts, but I think I have to do this. More lands isn't pleasant. Diviner, sure. Diviner draws a land, gets rid of a land. Sure. Draws a land. Sure. It's not useful for them this turn. Okay, Calim is pretty good. We dig that. What do I tap down with Calim? Rebels, that's annoying. Am I willing to trade Lae'zel with Jetmir? I don't want to give them the choice to make that decision. Okay. So we can put Calim into play. And have it untapped. I don't know if that's actually necessary. I think I'm supposed to go for a little more card advantage than that. Okay, I think we just do everybody here. Oh, I probably should have attacked with Lae'zel there. That was a big mistake. I really have to clock my opponent in this position with them having Revels. Calim's good, Diviner's good, Calim to play, means I have the answer to the next flyer. My opponent continuing to flood is only good things. Fiend's Tower, draw 2. Draw an Expressive Iteration, that's cool. Play Diviner of Fates, find out what it gets. Expressive Iteration can only hit Expressive Iterations right now, so we might as well have a higher stat line on the Diviner of Fates. I only have one blue source, so I think I actually play out this Xander's Lounge. I could attack with the 2/2. Oh no, you know what I actually do? I actually specialize this Lae'zel, discarding the Expressive Iteration for blue. Because I can steal one of my opponent's cards that gains life. That is literally the best possible one. Thank you. Now, how much attacking do I do here? I don't really think my opponent has much in the way of the capacity to put things into play on my turn. Oh, I shouldn't have attacked with Lae'zel. I forgot they've got an onboard Jetmir, so there's the potential that they can get up to 6 creatures and give these things trample. So having more things with first strike is a big deal. Did not happen, looks like. Oh, bad tapping. Should have left up untapped black. I have Ray in the deck, don't I? Yeah, I have one. Okay. Fable next turn gets to start copying Righteous Valkyrie, which gains a lot of life. Can I go for lethal here? Tap, tap. Probably. Did I say I was going to play the Xander's Lounge and then just didn't play the Xander's Lounge? Okay, well, let's play Citystalker and get some context for on whether or not... Okay, only lands. Let's say, worst case scenario, they have the land that does 4 damage and another land that does 4 damage. They're still taking 6, 12, for a lot. Yeah, still lethal. Decline. Yeah. Oh, what a dumb game where I got so lucky. Ugh. Amusingly, Viconia actually would have been really useful that game to answer the Lunarch Veteran Flyer beatdown plan. I wonder, do I want to lower my curve? Cut something expensive. The trouble is I need every expensive card in this matchup. I don't know. Expressive Iteration on the draw is worse than a Viconia. That's for sure. That's for sure. Okay. This is very similar to the previous hand, but we have better mana. Angel of Unity, sure. Okay. Do I play this tower, or do I play Crossroads on white? I think I go for the Scry Crossroads on white. Yeah, very happy to not draw that land. This doesn't give me access to Double Ray next turn, but it's probably fine. Yeah, that's what punished me for not playing Ray. Now I kind of have to Void Rend that. And they pumped something else. Alright. do I want to sequence this? Play the blue or play this on black? Probably play this on black. Alright, let the opponent think they have the Righteous Valkyrie while they decide how to sequence their turn. Yeah, that's pretty awful. No need for them to gain more life. Trellisara's inconvenient. I could play Fable here with Ray backup. Is that better than playing Citystalker this turn? Getting the Fable counting down would be appealing. Denying them scries with Trellisara would be interesting. But what if they have another Inquisitor Captain? I think that world kind of necessitates me playing the Citystalker first, even if it's not really what would be ideal. Jetmir. Alright, well, that also would have been pretty scary. I believe that I probably want to trade this off. Or do I not, because it holds back Trellisara forever? Maybe I don't. They didn't have anything else to play, or they would have played it pre-combat, right? Okay. What? Play Jetmir's Garden rather than cycle it? Opponent? Are we sure? Huh. What does that imply? Voice of the Blessed. Ugh. Okay, that's pretty inconvenient. It eventually flies, but Trellisara scries. I think I would rather kill the Trellisara. They have an instant? No. They're either holding full control or they have another land to cycle. Okay, so it is a land to cycle. I believe I get rid of the Fracture now. Do I get rid of the Viconia? They have a Righteous Valkyrie I can steal. That I can steal this turn? Stealing it this turn might not matter much. Still, I don't think that I discard the Viconia. I think I want to play that this turn. Do I play this land, or do I discard it to Fable? I have access to a lot of mana already from the Goblin Shamans, but playing it this turn means that I get to steal the Righteous Valkyrie this turn. I think I hold the land here. They don't have good attacks. The Voice of the Blessed just trades with my 2/2s. The Lunarch Veteran just gets eaten by Viconia. Fable flips. Fable with Righteous Valkyrie is actually a surprisingly strong combo. Discard 2 lands. Yeah, we draw 2 bad cards. But Fracture I can discard to Viconia. 1, 2, 3. So I can give Viconia Drain and put it into play this turn, or give the Angel Drain and put it into play this turn, or I could specialize Viconia for white to put it into play immediately, which means that I get to Blood Token the Haunted Ridge. That sounds better. Calim's cute. It's not really a priority that I put Righteous Valkyrie into play this turn. Tapping down Jetmir might be better. Tapping down Jetmir is probably better. Diviner of Fates is cool. Alright, so we exile Righteous Valkyrie. You're a wizard, not a cleric. Probably supposed to sack some Goblin Shamans here. Power Word Kill killing Jetmir is cool, but so does every other removal spell I could draw anyway. Well, that's true. I boarded into 3 mana removal spells that are less effective. Fair enough. We specialize Viconia for white. Put the Valkyrie into play. And now I got the choice with Kiki Jiki whether I want to start copying Diviner of Fates or Righteous Valkyries. They get one attack here that's somewhat annoying. Oh, they choose not to. Okay, well then. I mean, I could draw a lot of cards, but I actually think that potentially trying to go for lethal here might be better. How much? This feels like a lot of damage. I don't know how much damage, but this feels like probably enough damage. I mean, this is probably enough damage, right? Also, I'm at 73 life, which is pretty cool. That got out of hand a little quickly. So if you were wondering why I was prioritizing getting Righteous Valkyrie into play so much, it's because it's very silly with Reflection of Kiki Jiki. It can be very difficult for this life gain deck to race you when you just explosively gain 50 life. Oh, I could have gained more life, actually. I think. No, I couldn't have. Oh, yeah, I could have. I think there was an opportunity on, like, the last life gain trigger to respond to the life gain trigger by making another copy, which I think would have resulted in me gaining, like, 2 additional life. But not a very big difference. Alright, well, this is playable. Play Crossroads on blue turn 1. The flooding out is not the greatest. Happy to scry a land to the bottom, I suppose. Jeez. That's not good. It'll be a really good time to top deck Fable of the Mirror Breaker so that we can filter our way through all of these lands. Opponent jams Nadar. Okay, so it's the Venture's Aggression version of this. make the opponent make all relevant decisions before giving them the information that their Nadar is going to die. Okay. Break expectations we get rid of and try to find an expressive iteration. Or we can find a break expectations. Wow. I think this might be literally the worst possible draws. Now, Raffine's Tower being a land that couldn't cycle would be worse. Diviner face, yeah. So hopefully they can't Ray my Diviner. That would be pretty bad. They cannot. That's a start. Okay. What do you got, opponent? Oh, gosh. They have so many amazing cards. I have to take Lae'zel. I can't let them have untap land, reanimate Lae'zel, or reanimate Diviner. So I just kind of have to let them have the Diviner. I think I'm hoping that they Void Rend my Diviner rather than playing theirs. They could play Relic into Nadar. They play theirs. That's not what I wanted to happen. I wonder if they have any artifacts they can discard Orazka Relic to fetch. They discard their 2-drop. I don't know that that seems entirely correct to me. Huh. Okay, more lands. Deck. I know maybe it was, like, slightly hubris when I said this deck just stomps Esper, but... This certainly is going to make it harder. Yeah, there's the Void Rend. Oh, dear me. Okay. That'd be good if I actually had the capacity to have any black cards in hand to discard, which I don't, somehow. So... oh boy. Oh boy. Oh dear me. Target creature gets -4/-0, which I could blink in response to, and then probably get my Lae'zel killed. And we probably won't be retrieving the cat today, because this one's pretty high stakes, so I'm going to focus. I could just hope they don't have an instant speed removal spell. So I go to 2. That's not good. I believe we kill the Nadar. I go to 1. Okay, so I can't specialize that. No, even if I top deck Ray, I think we're dead exactly. Can I do something about that? I might be able to. Depends on how many Calims I have. No, and they don't make the mistake of targeting Calim anyway. Okay, sure. No, not Void Rends. These are what we want. These are what we don't want. Am I supposed to value Elspeth against aggro? It's kind of an interesting idea. But I have nothing to cut that's good. Hypothetically, Viconia might be underwhelming against this deck if it's not actually playing. Well, no, because it can sideboard in 2 ways to take advantage of the graveyard. We will take the play. We will keep the hand that has the ability to do things. Citystalker's neat. I think I just pass here holding up Power Word Kill and plan to go for turn 4 Citystalker. Playing Diviner of Fates into an open removal spell doesn't sound interesting. I chose not to play the Sundown Pass because I wanted to bluff that I didn't play Diviner of Fates because my mana didn't support it. When in reality I didn't play Diviner of Fates because I didn't want to play it into 2 open mana. Oh, it's a dragon, so I can't kill it with Power Word Kill. Wow, okay. Huh, that didn't go well. Whoops. Alright, Citystalker to threaten trading with Indar while getting a 2-for-1. Takes out Lae'zel. That's fine. Probably makes a treasure. Wow, I'm so far behind on tempo versus where I wanted to be because of the Power Word Kill not killing Nadar. I don't think Bind to Secrecy is a card you actually want to play in these mirrors, opponent. But, okay. You did get to use it. More Nadars. Okay. Nadar continuing to get to hold up interaction. Okay. Well, we Citystalker again. Tasha. Well, they did indeed have Tasha. Don't really want to land next turn. They have another Tasha, they steal our Citystalker, take Diviner. That could be pretty bad. We continue trading off. Four Nadars? 4 Nadars. Alright. And they've held up removal spells every single turn here. But I can blood token in response to a removal spell on Diviner. No. Okay, sweet. So we get to discard the power word kill that doesn't kill Nadar. Don't necessarily draw anything better. I think I just play Sundown Pass. I can discard power word kill on their turn. There are 3 mana removal spells. Precipitous Drop, which will kill the Diviner. How badly do I have to kill the Nadar this turn? Pretty badly. So hopefully this doesn't hit a 3 mana removal spell, and instead hits any of our other removal spell, all of which kill Nadar. Perfect. More counter spells. Okay. We take a bit of damage. Okay, Diviner of Fates isn't bad. Do I need to Expressive Iteration first? No. Because I think I want a Diviner of Fates discarding Expressive Iteration. I want Diviner of Fates to be a 3/4. I want to discard Diviner of Fates. I can't Expressive Iteration into a 1-drop here anyway. I think I do, because I'd like to find Calim specifically. Perfect. Okay, so we get to tap down Nadar. We get to draw a card. Now we get to tap down the underdog. We draw a Calim, who is completely hard-castable. Alternatively, I can Soul Servitude, getting Nadar, discarding Raffine's Tower, trying to draw an untapped land so that I can cycle Calim. I think I like that plan. Crossroads, I would rather get rid of than Raffine's Tower, I suppose. Undrop land? No, another tap land. Alright, choices then. Do I not play Nadar so that I can cycle Calim? Or do I play Expressive Iteration, cycle Calim? I think I play Expressive Iteration, cycle Calim. Can't do anything with any of these, so which one do I just want to put in hand? Probably Ray. Could cast Expressive Iteration looking for an untap? No, then I don't cycle Calim. That's not acceptable. Fable? I don't think that's ideal right now. Void Rend the Diviner of Fates, sure. Cycle Calim. Would probably like to draw the third Calim. We succeed. Didn't necessarily need the fourth Calim, but okay. So now I have Nadar, plus cycle Calim, plus Ray, plus probably cycle another Calim. Opponent gets to do 3 to us, puts us to 4. Draws a card. I don't think I Expressive Iteration here. What does each of these do, and which one's the most likely to gain me life? Dark Pool, probably? Don't really want another Calim right now. And Nadar has Vigilance, so next turn I can probably make a 1/1 blocker. Diviner of Fates we will be killing in response to its trigger. You draw Calim, 1 Calim in yard. Our Calim goes into play. They tap our Nadar down. I think I want to hold on to the Calim, so I think I'm just using blood to discard Stormcarved Coast here. Viconia is... the second one's less useful, but the first one is very useful. Let's see, what would we most like here? The answer is probably Lae'zel. But the answer is also 100% that I want to exile Tenacious Underdog. 2/2. So I could put the Tenacious Underdog into play, gaining 2 life, which actually is kind of interesting with the Blitz. If I discard Viconia. Alternatively, I could discard Expressive Iteration, exile the Ray. That is probably better. I believe I have exactly enough mana to do that. Yeah, Nadar sticks around because... And we get the 1/1. Yeah. So I have every reason to make these attacks aggressively. Because I do have to clock my opponent. It does have to happen. How badly do I want to hold up Calim here? Does that even matter to me? I don't think that matters, so I think we can just get away with playing Underdog. But holding up Viconia activations is also potentially useful. I have 1, 2, 3 creatures, 4 creatures in my yard, so I can't stop them from Tashaing me. Underdog puts more pressure on them next turn, but also Calim removes more blockers where I'm already threatening lethal, and I can blitz the Underdog from hand anyway. So in that case, instead of playing the Underdog, I could play the Viconia. Blitz, Ray, tap. I think I'm going to play it safe and pass. I'm not actually sure if that's the best, but I'm also not sure if any of these lines actually lose. See no reason to let them get a 1/1 here, so we tap down the Triumphant Adventurer now. Yeah, okay. Woo! Now we gotta do it on the draw. Alrighty. Helpful to know that they have Tasha, and that's something I have to play around. Alright. On the draw. Okay. Good hand. Good cards. Appealing magic. A little expensive, but Ray is nice. Underdog's kind of a pain, but okay. Fable is the best 3-drop we could hope for, so that's cool. Sweet. I can answer Nadar. Okay, that's reasonable. We get to play a Fable. And Calim tapped down the 2/2. That's great. I wasn't even planning on blocking anyway. Cool. Cool. So are they going to tap down the 2/2 again then? This is kind of weird. Discarding the Calim is better if they end up tapping my 2/2 to a Calim. I don't think I discard the Calim because I think I want to play around Tasha. Okay, so I do tap down the 2/2. Sure. In that case, we have no creatures in the yard, so... let's just play the Diviner. I think I want to discard the Soul Servitude looking for a Ray. Infernal Grasp isn't really an improvement. Third Calim. We get to Soul Shatter that. But if they have a negate, I guess I'm probably gonna lose now? There's a downside of discarding the Soul Servitude. Fable flips. Nadar is fine. Okay. I think that puts us pretty far ahead. Ooh, Lae'zel's fine too. Eventually. Okay, so I want to do this all at sorcery speed. Do I want to attack with the 2/2 to get a treasure, or do I want to hold it back to block? I mean, I know I'm doing all of this. That's happening. I think I want to hold it back to block. I don't want to lose any life right now. I don't need more mana right now either. They have one Calim in the yard, because that's the one I killed. Lae'zel getting back Nadar. Okay. Discarding Tasha, we like that. Nadar turns on an Anthem next turn unless we tap it down. I have no black cards to discard for Lae'zel is a problem. I think I'm supposed to chump block, and I really want to draw an untap land. Sweet. Okay. Where does that leave me on activating Lae'zel? Maybe it doesn't leave me anywhere on activating Lae'zel. Maybe I don't play Lae'zel. Maybe I copy Diviner of Fates, have 5 mana, cycle Calim, targeting Nadar. If I had an instant that I could discard, this would be easier. Let's just draw an instant here. Easy peasy. Draw Calim. Well, activating 2 Calims isn't exactly a downside either. Actually, putting 1 Calim into the graveyard so that we can try to tutor up more is a really good draw. As long as we tutor up 1 Calim here, we're in business. Perfect, 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 perfect. So we can chump block this Lae'zel and not care about it. Do I want more Calims right now? I probably do want at least one more Calim right now. Alright, let's draw a Ray. That would be ideal. Diviner isn't bad. Citystalker's fine or whatever. Untap land is good too. Okay. And we're also going to tap down the Underdog, because I don't have a good ability to block it. They could kill their Underdog to deny me Calim next turn, and deny me a card draw. But then they're using a removal spell on their Underdog, which I don't think they want. Soul Servitude, not at its best, but not bad. These attacks don't make a ton of sense. Unless they have a removal spell for Diviner. Sure, okay. Which means they didn't use it on Calim. Oh, okay, well. If they also had a Calim to tap down with 3/4, but it looks like they decided not to use it. If they had it. So let's see. What do we want to do here? If they have a Calim, it becomes really tempting to Citystalker here. I don't have a Calim. I can Lae'zel bringing back Diviner of Fates for 5 mana, leaves me 2 mana, which kind of just means Divinering. But I can discard Soul Servitude and get 2 draws towards... Yeah, I think that's the most appealing. 2 draws towards Ray of Enfeeblement, of which I still have 3 remaining. Viconia is kind of tempting, Diviner's kind of tempting, Citystalker's kind of... Oh, we can discard Xander's Lounge. Perfect. I think making this a 3/4 is actually important here. I'm heavily incentivized to copy Diviner of Fates on my instep so that they can't remove it in response. If they do have the way to remove it in response, I'm in trouble. But doing it on their turn gives me 2 draws instead of 1. Can I take that risk? I can't really take that risk, I don't think. Found the Ray. Excellent. So they have Nadar to tap. Or they have Calim to tap. But I can kind of stop Calim from doing anything too meaningful. Because I have Viconia and a lot of extra mana to work with. Oh, no, they can put Calim into play now. Alright. That's fair. If it was just straight up drawing into a Calim, then they were always fine. They kind of just have to tap down the token. They don't really have any other good options. if they want to do it right now. I've used up every edict, so dealing with an opposing 5/6 Calim could be troublesome. I have the option of Ray of Enfeeblementing my own 3/4 to deny them a Calim into play and to deny them a card draw. But then they swing with everything. I block Nadar, block Tenacious Underdog. They have drawn a card. I go to 1. 1 isn't very comfy. Alright, let's Ray the Nadar now, before they can attack with it. Okay. So I'm still in danger because they can Calim tap my Calim. And I have no way to kill their Calim. I can Viconia. What do I have as far as answers to Calims go? I have more Calims in my deck that I can commit to spending 4 mana to tapping down Calim. I think I'm supposed to go for that. So we play Diviner, find Calim. Okay, perfect. I think then I discard Fable. Draw more Fables. Don't really even want to use them right now. You have exactly enough mana. I'm incentivized to start clocking my opponent at this point. I believe I just have enough blockers, although they're going to start tapping stuff down, actually, so I might not have enough blockers, so I might not be able to start clocking at this point. No, I think I'm just supposed to take the fact that I have a resource advantage and keep dirtling, even though I'm committing to tapping down the Calim. The timing on this is pretty awkward, because they can attack with Calim and then tap down my Calim. So I have to tap down their Calim first, and then they don't need to activate their Calim. They can do it on my end of turn. They might make the mistake of tapping down my Calim before attacking, which would be cool for me if they make that error. It is cool for me that they have made that error. I will now choose to copy Diviner of Fates at this timing. I do believe that I probably want to discard Calims, because I think I want everything else here. Although I do want to draw Calim anyway. And now we have lots of cards. And now we will tap down their Calim. Yeah, so they suffered a pretty big tempo loss from not doing this on my turn. We have Power Word Kill that can kill Calim. Triumphant Adventurer here draws a card by sacrificing itself, which is kind of fine by me. Was that just... Oh, no, because it's got First Strike. So it just draws a card and taps itself is all it does. Okay, 1 Calim in the yard. So we start with Viconia. We exile Calim from the yard. We look at the awkward fact that our opponent has negate up and sort of question my decisions, but that's fine. Could play Citystalker this turn, block the opponent out, not deal with the Calim. I don't think they can kill me. Yeah, that's probably fine. So we Citystalker, then we're going to draw step Citystalker them again. They Disdainful Stroke me. Okay, sure. Awkward, but not the end of the world. I'm gonna have to discard a bunch of stuff multiple times here. Okay, perfect. Didn't even have to discard more stuff multiple times. Okay, so we might take 5 damage off Calim, which is a little inconvenient. Nadar pumps everybody, isn't vulnerable to power word kill. That's awkward. You're just drawing a bunch of Nadars for a while now. Oh, they don't even have to tap down my Calim now. How about Rays? 2 Rays in the deck? Okay. So I can Diviner of Fates looking for a Ray to kill Nadar. To make most of their attack pretty bad. You have a removal spell in response. No. Alright, Diviner of Fates. Discards Power Word Kill. Goes and fetches 3 instants. Finds a Ray. And a Ray. Do I have a third? Oh, I have another Power Word Kill. Delicious. Okay. How about you choose the mode on this before I figure out what I'm doing? Each player loses 2 life unless they discard a card. Wow. Okay. I guess I'm probably going to discard a card. Like this Expressive Iteration I have absolutely no use for. Alright. I would like to know if the Ray on Nadar actually resolves or if it gets countered before I make my blocks. Good to know. Block here, block here, block here? Or do I just trade a Diviner of Fates? Nah, I'd probably rather trade Lae'zel. In the active Diviner. Is that right? It's probably right. Four minutes left. Okay, so I actually do have to win the game. Maybe that incentivizes me to keep the Lae'zel around. Do I have anything to reanimate? No. Okay. So, play land drop. Play Power Word Kill on Calim. Need to know if that's actually going to resolve. Ray draw is good. Sweet. Play Fable, would like mana at some point. Swing for 5. Call that probably acceptable. Shouldn't have played Fable. I need slightly more mana here. But maybe I just have to live with that. The card they're about to draw into off of this doesn't put a Calim into play. Probably. Okay. Woof! That was far more complicated than I feel like it needs to be, but got there. Got there. Alright, take the play. Keep the hand. Cards are good. Get the choice between whether to cycle Calim on 2 or cast Break Expectations, which probably will be partially dictated by what our opponent plays on turn 1. Esperuni. I think I would rather cycle Calim. Gives us a better chance of finding a Fable. Which I believe is what I would like to play on turn 3, if at all possible. We did find a black source, which means that I could break expectations holding up Ray. Which I believe is what I want to do. Wonder what they're considering here. Whether to cycle Calim in response? Traps. Alright, what are we working with? So presumably 2 lands. Diviner of Fates isn't really very scary because I can always Ray it this turn, which isn't bad from a tempo standpoint. I kind of feel like breaking the Vanishing Verse. Because otherwise I play Lae'zel and they 2-for-1 my... Is getting my Lae'zel 2-for-1 actually something that bothers me, though? It is a little bit. Oh, well, they would Jwari my Lae'zel. Okay, so we take the Vanishing Verse. Because I don't want to jam Lae'zel into Jwari, and I would like them to play Diviner since I have the Ray for it this turn. So they pass. And we draw, like, literally the best possible card. I still get to hold up Ray, and I play my card that doesn't get Jwari Disruptioned and doesn't get 2-for-1. This is Leather Armor. Equipped creature has Ward 1. Huh. They Void Rend a Fable. I'm excited about that. I have no problems with that whatsoever. More Lae'zels. It's fine. They want to play a removal spell on my Goblin Shaman? No, they just want to tap it down. Well, that's 2 Calims, and they're about to redraw the first, so that's kind of annoying. you got in response to Lae'zel? I'm really hoping you don't have a Vanishing Verse. Quench? No, just Jwari Disruption. Okay, I'll pay for that. They get to play the Diviner of Fates and the Leather Armor, so that's pretty good for them. Would I rather play Lae'zel specializing into blue or white if I'm discarding Raffine? Tower. Blue gets me a card out of their graveyard, or, well, out of their deck. Draw one towards Calim. Calim next turn. I'm not really well positioned to deal with that Calim. That could be a problem. I might actually have to race it, then? Would I rather get a card out of their deck or mine? Break Expectations off of Siphoner is not a card I particularly want. Lae'zel on white gets either Diviner or Fable, or Viconia. Viconia would actually be amazing, so I think I go for white. Okay, so how do we do this then? Ray the Diviner. Was I on the draw? I think I was on the play. Ray the Diviner, then play Diviner. Alternatively, sack my 2/2, play Lae'zel, put Diviner into play. I think that putting Diviner into play off Lae'zel is a better move. Oh, okay. Just play Siphoner. Sure. Deal. Deal. Super deal. I'm a little worried about a hard board wipe out of the opponent's deck. Which, thinking about that ahead of time, probably should have led me to decide to Ray the Diviner, and then play my own Diviner post-combat. Oh, I wouldn't have been able to Ray the Diviner and play a Diviner post-combat. So I could play Diviner and Ray their Diviner at the end of turn. Or I could just play the Lae'zel and be ahead and win the game if they don't have a board wipe. I don't love my odds if they have a board wipe regardless, so I think I play assuming that they are not a deck that is playing a board wipe main deck. I believe I hold on to the Infernal Grasp because I need an answer to an opposing Calim. And I'm very happy with a Calim. I'm disappointed I couldn't make my Diviner bigger so that it can attack through their Diviner, but oh well. No board wipe, please. Oh, just Lae'zel. Okay, okay, okay. That's not even the opponent choosing to put Calim into play? Although, I guess they could go untap land. No, they specialize Lae'zel. Lae'zel getting back Diviner of Fates. Sure. Sure. They trigger both Diviner of Fates. Understandable. Oh no, opponent forgetting their deck doesn't have any artifacts, so discarding the leather armor failed on both Diviner triggers. Whoops. Okay. Lae'zel swings. They choose to trade with the black Lae'zel. Okay. I know they have a Calim in hand. Do I choose to Infernal Grasp this Diviner to deny them the card draw, or do I hold on to the answer to Calim? I believe I don't care about them putting a Calim into play quite so much right now. If this cycles into a Calim and an untapped blue source, do I even have any untapped blue sources? One Stormcarved Coast, 2 Clearwater Pathways. So there are 3 hits in the deck that make cycling this Calim at sorcery speed possibly correct. I'll go for it, I think. Untap blue lane? Never rewarded. Void Rend the Diviner, sure. I got 2 Calims in the yard, so if they don't exile that, I get to put my Calim into play. Lae'zel is attacking and clocking. More Diviner of Fates is cool. Which means I'm not playing Fable this turn, I think. Cyber Siphoner, blocking, getting back what? Nothing relevant. We play Diviner, we discard Fable because I've already got 2 Calims in the yard. Or we discard the land because we'd like to thin the deck of a land. And they're already probably committed to Void Winnowing, or what is this? Void Rending Diviner of Fates anyway. I think that in the long run this is better off on black than on blue. We happily cycle Calim in response, so that the opponent can't stop us from having Calim with their Viconia. Diviner of Fates is not an unreasonable card at all. Break Expectations does things too. Viconia can put a Diviner of Fates into play if it specializes into white. They can also get a black Lae'zel off of it, but that's really mana intense. Okay, so they're going to specialize into blue, planning to get a Ray back, and probably a Diviner of Fates back. Ray the Diviner, but taking 11, going to 3? Oh no, it gets the black Lae'zel. Okay. That's fine. We can break expectations, the black Lae'zel. Oh, they might actually Ray the Lae'zel? No. Okay. Works for me. Alright, what does Diviner find? Nothing. Alright. Break expectations, we take the Lae'zel, they get some random garbage. Boilermaker. Okay, that is in fact mostly random garbage. Woo! Ah, I love break expectations just randomly being good in the late game. It's delightful. Alright. Play our edicts, ship. So, I suppose retroactively I'm happy with my decision to overextend into a board wipe that they didn't have. Not a lot of Esper decks play board wipes, although Cybosiphoner is unusual in the first place, but I feel like if I hadn't overextended to that point, it actually would have turned out to be difficult to win that game from the position that they put themselves in eventually. We were kind of neck and neck on card advantage, so the fact that I had the threatening tempo advantage kind of was the biggest difference. Cybosiphoner looked really unimpressive in their deck. Like, they just didn't have... I guess they had Ray of Enfeeblement. No, wait, that was my Ray of Enfeeblement. Did they have Ray of Enfeeblement? Cybosiphoner without good suites of cheap cards to be efficient with is kind of underwhelming. Oh, wait, they don't even have Fable. Yeah, I don't know. Cybosiphoner in their deck doesn't fill any of the roles that I usually attribute to Cybosiphoner being good at filling. I don't think it grabbing, like, 1-for-1 removal spells is really... a way of producing a meaningful advantage. Oh, well, sure. The Forsaken Crossroads with this Expressive Iteration are pretty awkward, but I suppose we can probably live. Would prefer this hand if it had a Ray of Enfeeblement. Soul Shatter is not an answer to Diviner on the draw. Okay. I think I'm supposed to put this first one on black. Am I willing to turn 2 cycle Calim? That's not what I'd like to do. I'd prefer to draw any 2-mana removal. Or 1-mana removal, just to have an answer to Diviner on turn 3. Ray would be the best draw, because then I could play Crossroads on blue tapped and scry. Opponent plays a Viconia. Sure. We also have Viconia, which isn't really good in multiples. One away from the Infernal Grasp, huh? That would have been a good top deck. Do I want this Infernal Grasp? No, maybe kills Viconia. Does that matter to me? I think I wanted it last turn. I don't think I want it this turn. Oh, shoot. Full control. Need to bluff having Ray. Luckily, they can't untap the Crossroads, so they are not representing Diviner this turn anyway. Play the Sundown Pass, have Soul Shatter for Diviner. I cycle Calim. It'll kind of require me to play a Viconia eventually. Do I just throw out the Soul Shatter for tempo here, or do I cycle Raffine? I don't generally care about Viconia. I think I cycle Tower. Wandering Emperor would be pretty annoying at this point. Expressive Iteration's in a weird spot because we're on the draw. I think I'm supposed to develop the Viconia here. Do I leave up blue or white? I think I represent negate. So now if they Wandering Emperor, I'm only taking 3 instead of 5. And Viconia gives a little bit of insurance if they have more Calims, which is in fact what they have. Luckily they didn't have another blue source, so I get to push some damage through with Viconia. I get to exile 2 Calims at the end of turn. Unfortunately, my bluff has been called. I have no answer to the Diviner of Fate. Opponent's only leaving up white mana, which doesn't answer my Diviner of Fates, meaning that I can go ahead and play it. And then probably discard the Soul Shatter. Looking for a cheaper removal spell to kill the Diviner of Fates. It's also tempting to get rid of the duplicate Viconia that's bad, but I think it's more important to look for hopefully not a 3-mana removal spell so that we can kill the Diviner. Any non-3-mana removal spell. Good enough. So they can exile the Diviner with Viconia. Sure, but at least then they're committing mana and cards to getting it back. I have no cards in my graveyard. So there's no risk of the opponent Tashaing me while I'm tapped out of Viconia. It does give the opponent the opening to jam Lae'zel and turn it on to black, which would be a pretty big blowout that I'm going to have a tough time recovering from, but I don't think my options to play around that were viable. I can hope they don't have a black card in hand. Alright. Here's where things begin to get awkward. I kind of think they actually should have exiled their own Calim and then specialized into blue. Most likely. So we're taking 6 damage from Lae'zel this turn, which I could hypothetically chump block with the 2/2. Look, you're going into blue, huh? Okay. Tutored a creature. Exile the Diviner, and then I exile the Diviner again in response. Force them to eat up a little bit of mana. Oh, they're holding full control, is why I don't have priority yet. They still have a land drop, so they can play this if they have an untapped land. Alternatively, they could Soul Shatter my Diviner. Even if they Soul Shatter, they don't have good attacks with anything other than Lae'zel. Yep, so they can play more stuff. They Calim tap down the Diviner. That seems questionable-ish. That's gotta be worse than just Soul Shattering. No, opponent, you want to attack with the Viconia and not the Diviner, is what you want to do. Okay, this is confusing. Why not attack with the Viconia? You think having the ability to exile matters, I guess? Why do they not want to lose the Viconia over the Diviner? Huh. Alright, well, we trigger Diviner, draw some cards. Find a Diviner. Alright. That's pretty decent. Probably discard Expressive Iteration here. We already triggered that Diviner. Ray is good, though. Kills their Diviner. And again, I'd probably rather thin my deck of lands at this point. And Soul Shatter means that having one Diviner being larger isn't really a big advantage. Viconia means we can help keep the Calims under control. Soul Shatter kills the smaller Diviner, yes. Fable's transforming this turn. They play a tap land, so I don't have to worry about them reanimating Calims in response to Calims. Unless they pass with all 4 mana up, but if they pass with all 4 mana up, I'm pretty comfortable just not doing anything. If they attack with Lae'zel, am I chump blocking with the Goblin? I could Ray the Lae'zel after it attacks. They wind up flickering it. I exile the Diviner. No, I don't think that's any good. Okay, I think we're just chumping to gain the life. Keeping myself up above 5 matters in case I accidentally allow them a Calim at some point. If they play Diviner, I get to Ray it. If they don't play Diviner... If they're holding 2 Calims in hand... No, they Cyber Siphoner. And they have no instants or sorceries is useful to know. Okay. So Cyber Siphoner targets what? I will exile it with Viconia. Yeah. So that's not a card that's useful. And on my turn, as tempting as it is to exile this Diviner so that I can specialize Viconia, get Diviner, am I supposed to exile Calim instead? I think I'm probably supposed to exile Diviner. Oh, they actually let that resolve. Okay, cool. Lae'zel for black doesn't accomplish much because opponent has a Viconia. Absolutely I don't want to use my black mana deck. Come on. So we specialize Viconia for blue. We get Diviner, we get Soul Shatter. Soul Shatter kills Lae'zel. Should I do that now while we're guaranteed the opponent doesn't have anything? Probably. That's probably better than playing Diviner this turn. Yeah, okay. I dig that. So now my life total isn't anywhere nearly as threatened. And we're just going to pass holding up a bunch of mana? Or should I proactively exile Calims now? I think I don't proactively exile Calims now. I want to have enough mana to... Oh, they just hardcast Calim. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that is annoying for sure. They are correct about that. It is a clock. And I am down to... fewer answers to the Calim? Although I can just tap it with my Calims at some point. We're going to just empty their graveyard of creatures, because I'm out of Viconias anyway. I just don't want Lae'zels to have targets. They have mana open for Viconia, so Lae'zel reanimation isn't meaningful, meaning that I believe my best bet here is to play Diviner of Fates, discarding Ray? Discarding Lae'zel, possibly, looking for Calims. Okay, Infernal Grasping Calim at sorcery speed is probably a good idea. How many instants do I have left? A lot. How many creatures do I have left? A lot. Which do I want more of? Hard to say. I think we can discard the Ray here. And then discard the Lae'zel on their turn. More rays is delightful. Did it tap triple black? Oh, auto tapper. Thank you. I guess it doesn't matter. I was only going to be able to hold up one land anyway. But still, auto tapper. But still. Actually, there's a strong possibility I wouldn't activate Reflection on their upkeep and would have just held up double Ray. Actually, there is... I still think that I'm supposed to play around Jwari here. Yes, okay. That I don't care about. We Ray the Diviner. Yeah, they get to redraw it. That's fine. Actually, I can stop that by exiling Diviner with Viconia if I'm willing to give up a little bit of value. Do I care? I actually don't think I care about them redrawing that. I think I'd rather just copy Diviner, discard Ray, draw 3 instant speed removal spells, discard Power Word Kill, draw 3 instant speed removal spells. These are cool. I like all these cards. Alright. Play the land. What order am I doing this in? Do I want Lae'zel? Lae'zel might be fun. So let's go with Infernal Grasp, Viconia. Opponent exiles something. Soul Shatter. Oh, I should be doing this at their end of turn. Whoops. Or at my end of turn, rather. Small whoopsies. It'll probably be fine. I don't really care about doing damage to them here. Okay. So... Soul Servitude, target player. Gonna discard Expressive Iteration, draw a bunch of nothing. Actually, I'm gonna discard Sundown Pass. So I draw a bunch of lands. Then we Soul Servitude again. And we discard some of those lands we just drew. Then the opponent concedes, because I'm going to exile their Viconia and their Siphoner in step here so that they don't get them back with Lae'zel in response to the triggers. Woo! Alright, 4-0. Alright, well, we don't get to keep this hand. This hand's pretty reasonable. Do I keep Citystalker or Fourth Land? I probably would prefer to keep Citystalker. Do I keep Crossroads over Swamp? Yes, why would I not? Because I could discard Swamp to specialize on Lae'zel. But I'm going to probably have to play that Swamp before that point matters anyway. And if on turn 2 I don't have anything to do, then Forsaken Crossroads being a scry land is appealing. Okay. Currently, what do I feel most incentivized to put Crossroads on? Second blue source? Playing against Oni Cult Anvil on the draw. A little awkward. Calim is enough of a reason to play Crossroads untapped and is a strong reason to make it a second blue. Alright. Play Sundown Pass for Fable. I believe we tap the Onicult Anvil in response here. There's a chance that they're missing their third land drop and that they would sack the Experimental Synthesizer to the Onicult Anvil at sorcery speed to look for it, and denying them that has some value. Someone plays the tap land, sure. Which means we get to play Fable. They don't have Shock or Voltage Surge up. I think I was supposed to play Sundown Pass probably, so that I could play Diviner of Fates plus Raffine's Tower. No, I have too many lands, and I'm going to cycle the Raffine's Tower to the Fable anyway. And there's a pretty good chance that I'm actually going to play Citystalker Connoisseur. More Onicult Anvils. I'm awkward. And a removal spell for the 2/2. Okay. Sacks the 1/1 to get a point of damage in. We find Calim. That's appealing. I think I'm supposed to Citystalker to stop them from having Invoke. No. Best they have is Fable. Or at least highest cost they have is Fable. Synthesizer for more card draw. Yep. Third Onicult Anvil. That's probably not a thing I'm going to be able to beat. Regrettably. If we draw Calim this turn, there's still not really a chance, no. Well, I mean, we will draw Calim and get to put it into play this turn. Let's see, they're going to have 3 attackers. I am actively incentivized to not attack here. Tough, 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 tough. Many, 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 many 1/1s. Even if I lock my opponent out of cards for the rest of the game with Citystalker, which with this many cards in hand isn't even necessarily something that I can do, I still might just die to the 3 Onicult Anvils on board that I don't have removal capacity for. Beat hook for 3. That's not good. Wait, yes, that is good? That actually removes all of their 1/1s. I guess they can sack to the Onicult Anvil. Okay. So they're going to do 8 damage to me here, put me to 8. Yep. And they go to 26. I'm losing 3 life a turn. The 3-turn clock, and my clock is 6 turns with Calim at the moment. Not even accounting for more life they gain with Owning Cult. So I am super losing if I can't find something to do. What can I find to do? Viconia? Gain life somehow in a meaningful way? I just have to increase the clock. Okay, well, that's increasing the clock. Draw a creature. Don't want Calim right now. That's a creature. Play Diviner, exile Fable. I just need power on board. And then somehow I'm going to have to be able to deal damage through the Owning Cult Anvil tokens on the ground, which is not easy. Ugh. Okay. That's horrific. Am I just dead? I might just be dead already. 2 damage. 1, 2, 3, 3 damage, 3 damage. Yeah, that's lethal. Oh, right, doing it this way is another 2 damage, so they just deal 10 with the brush stroke, casually. Humana. Owning Cult is a good card, that's for sure. So we want Elspeth, we want Fractures, we want Void Rends, we don't want Break Expectations, we don't care much about Ray of Enfeeblement, we don't really like Infernal Grasp. Now I could keep Rays for dealing with Blood Artists, or I could play Sunset Revelry for being fine. They gain life, they don't really ever draw cards. They might be better on the play than they are on the draw. I guess we'll go with the Sunset Revelries over the Ray. I might change that on the draw. I'm not convinced that's correct, but it is potentially helpful. This time around, the hope is that we can give lifelink to Calim with Elspeth. I need to be mindful of the fact that I have double white card in my deck now. Take the play. Okay, this is keepable. We would like to, if possible, draw an untapped land to play Fable on 3. Do I play Raffine's Tower to more highly prioritize being able to play Fracture on 2? Or Xander's Lounge to more highly prioritize being able to play Fable on 3. I think we play Xander's Lounge here. Okay, so if I top deck no untapped land, I can still Fracture an Owning Cult Anvil on my turn, which is actually better than fracturing it on their turn because they don't get a 1/1. Bloodtide Harvester. Okay, can't do anything about that. Ugh. Don't think I want to Expressive Iteration here. Not the best start. Would have preferred to have done something to put me ahead on tempo by now. I should have tapped that down. No, because I want to fracture an unequaled anvil even if they get a 1-1. No, I still should have tapped it down because I want to try to draw land. Yeah. Okay. Misplay there. Took 3 extra damage versus what I ought to have. Epicure, which I could Ray. Land drop shock. Hold up double black. Huh. Not willing to Ray the Epicure when they're, like, strongly representing sack spell. Untap land. Don't hate that. We get to play Fable. Fable discards the other Calim and digs us towards the first Calim. That's nifty. Multiple fractures. Sacks the Epicure. End of turn. Choosing whether to sack the Epicure or the blood tokens. I feel like you'd rather sack the Epicure in this position, but they think that they might remove the 2/2, so sure. From my perspective, I'm going to Ray the Epicure most likely anyway, so kind of just all the better for me. Voltage Surge 2/2 to get the Blood Tithe Harvester through. That tracks. We Ray the Epicure. Take less damage. Another Deadly Dispute. Am I discarding a Fracture here? Depends on what else they do with this turn. They do nothing with the rest of this turn. Believe that makes me okay discarding the Fracture. Expressive Iteration, guaranteed to find Calim. Would have rather preferred to have drawn Calim naturally, but yeah, do what you can. Alright, so we get Calim and a Xander's Lounge. So risk-wise, if I tap down this Blood Tithe Harvester and they sack it, I don't get to put Calim into play. But I think that I need to prevent the damage anyway, and I'm willing to take that risk. I've used 2 Deadly Disputes already. Alright, sweet. Now would be a great time to draw a Planeswalker. Break Expectations does hit a lot of their best stuff, but they're also super well positioned to use the random junk artifacts for sacrifice fodder. So it's not as good as you'd like it to be against them most of the time. Fable, eh? Would I rather play Diviner of Fates or the Another Fable? I'm definitely fracturing Oni Cult. Probably supposed to play Diviner. Do they Voltage Surge Diviner in response here? I choose not to. Viconia, does that offer me anything? I don't believe that's desirable. believe I'm getting rid of that. More City Stalkers. Okay. Don't really want another Calim right now. Fracture the Oni Cult before it can activate. They sacked in response, put me to 12. I hold back Calim to block. Or do I not? Do I need to clock the opponent? It's not easy to clock an opponent here. Especially when they're about to loot. I don't like this position at all. I think I'm better off defending and trying to buy one more turn to find Elspeth. Basically, what I'm most worried about here is Invoke Despair. And if I attack with Calim, I think I just lose to Invoke Despair instantly. Brushstroke's pretty bad. Take some pings. Elspeth would be cool. Elspeth would be cool. Top deck a removal spell for either Sanguine Brushstroke or Blood Artist now. Preferably Blood Artist. What do we do here? Hit Ray of Enfeeblement off of Expressive Iteration? Nope. That's a pretty bad sign. I'm basically dead to another Brushstroke. Basically dead to Invoke Despair. Mostly dead to removal. Down to 6. Blood represents putting me down to 4. Oh, shoot. Missed a cycle. Should have done that in response. Poorly done. Alright, so we can Power Word kill the Blood Artist. Puts us down to 3. Citystalker into the blood tokens is a little risky, but at least forces them to be in top deck mode. Take 1 damage off of attacks here. Might as well do this now. I think we're discarding Fable. Because if we hit Ray, I get to target something else with this. Should it... Oh, no. I got that blood off the Citystalker, so I couldn't have done it before playing Citystalker. So in a couple of turns, the opponent gets double Fable online. And by that I mean next turn. And they have a card in hand, so that's game. Alright, well, that was a slow start. So the way that particularly played out did make it look like Ray would have been better than Sunsets. But it also made it look like Elspeth was actually a good choice. So I don't regret adding that at the last second. I think Anvil is probably a tricky matchup at the best of times. And the mono tap lands in game 2. I think we probably still would have actually had a somewhat decent chance at that if I had gotten to play Fable on 3, I think. But not top ticking any untap lands by turn 3 is rough. There's only 8 tap lands in the... Well, no, all the scry lands are also tap lands at that point. So 12 tap lands in the deck. Yeah. Game 1. Game 1, I am not equipped to deal with triple Anvil ever. I don't think I ever beat a draw where they get that. We get to be on the draw. Nope, I can update the record too. Alright, this is reasonable. The lack of red mana is a little sad, but like, I'm not going to complain too badly. Alright, find a red mana. Perfect. And we get an Espermere, which is the matchup that I want. Do I play an untapped land to get to play this Break Expectations around Jwari Disruption? I think I do. Because I'm currently kind of relying on this Break Expectations to stop me from getting Diviner on 3'd. Oh, I should have played a black land to represent Ray. I thought I needed to not, so that I could have Diviner of Fate on 3 potentially, but it would have been preferable to just play Brightclimb on 3, if that was the goal. They did in fact have the Jwari though, so we successfully played around that. We will exile the Diviner and give the opponent a Trespasser, which is awkward, but probably correct. Alternatives, give them a Diviner on 3 over the Trespasser. I'd probably just rather give them the Trespasser, which might actually make me play Diviner on 3, so that I have a blocker for Trespasser, rather than the Fable, because I'm not going to be able to attack with the 2-2 for the Fable anyway. Because the turn after I play Fable, they're probably going to play Lae'zel, and then attacking into that just isn't appealing. So, I have been quoted as saying that you want to play Fable over Fable on 3 over Diviner of Fates like 98% of the time. And this is, I think, going to turn out to be one of those 2%ers. Provided the opponent plays the Graveyard Trespasser. If they play something else, then that might change. If they pass and hold up Jwari because they only have tap lands, then that's unlikely. They played Mistgate on 2. Although they played Mistgate on 2 over Jwari so that they could hold up Jwari. So, that one card that we know about, hard to say what kind of land it might be. Alright, untap land, Trespasser? Yeah, okay. So we do Diviner of Fates, and then we discard something that makes it into a 3/4. Which will probably be Fable, because I think that I want Viconia. When my opponent's already cycled a Calim, and has Lae'zels. Or do we get a Break... Yeah, okay. I'd rather get rid of Break Expectations than Fable. Expressive Iteration isn't useful yet, but it might be useful at some point. I wonder if there was a... Huh. No, okay, they play Diviner Fates. I was wondering if holding Break Expectations so that on turn 3 or turn 4 I could go Fable Break Expectations might have been correct if they had just passed and let it switch to Night here while playing, like, Jwari Disruption, but they top deck a 3-drop, so they don't do that. Here, we are probably just playing Viconia and passing. Does that seem right? No, it does not seem right. It seems like now we play Fable and pass because we drew Ray, and Ray is good. Get the Fable ticking down. Don't let it switch to Night so our Diviner can continue to block the Trespasser. Should I be killing this Ray before the opponent can play Lae'zel and specialize it? Which is too late. Just, I mean, I guess I can choose to Ray the Diviner of Fates in response to the Lae'zel. I think no. Because I think if the opponent discards something to Lae'zel, I probably want to Ray the Lae'zel in response. Lae'zel flickers. Doesn't specialize. Opponent gets an instant. We discard 2 lands, are guaranteed to get a land off of the Diviner of Fates. Get an untap land, which lets us go Lae'zel. Yeah, that just sounds, like, absurdly good. That's our play. Black, untap, Lae'zel. Lae'zel for black. Discarding Diviner of Fates. Reanimating Diviner of Fates. Discarding Expressive Iteration would get possibly Break Expectations, which I'm not really enthusiastic about, so discard a land looking for an untapped land instead. Which means Diviner of Fates is a little smaller than I'd like, but I think that the increased chance at an untapped land next turn is worthwhile. Alright, so the opponent doesn't really have Good attacks here. Next turn, Fable is flipping. I get to play Viconia to try to start protecting me from Calim. We're not in danger from Tasha because we have no graveyard. Although, that gives us an incentive to block in ways that don't put any creatures in the graveyard. So I have to be very mindful of the fact that I technically don't want to trade with this Lae'zel if they still represent the capacity to have 4 mana up post-combat. So I'm probably chump blocking it with a 2/2. Or, no, I'm just taking 6. Okay, so now I can trade with Lae'zel if they were to attack. They discard a Calim. They could have an untapped land here and cycle a Calim and put a Calim into play before I can get Viconia down. That would be a problem if they are capable of it. They cannot tap land. Good to see. So, still have to question, do I trade with this Lae'zel? Theirs doesn't have the capacity to blink. They want a Ray Diviner, sure. They're gonna sack Trespasser to exile Diviner. Do I want to make this trade? No, because Lae'zel's actually holding back a huge amount of blockers, or a huge amount of potential attackers next turn anyway. Do I cast Expressive Iteration here? I've got lands already. I'm going to play Viconia. The difference is whether I have 4 Viconia activations up or not. I think the possibility of hitting Ray off of this makes it worth playing the Expressive. Unfortunately, none of this is particularly valuable. So I think we play Diviner eventually, play an untapped land this turn. Do I exile Calims now? I think I exile the first one now, yes. Okay. So now that we have the Viconia developed, we've got more of the opponent's options cut off here. If the opponent wants to tap Lae'zel with Calim, they can attack with everybody, resolve the Trespasser trigger, exile Diviner, then tap Lae'zel, but I would still just blink and eat their creatures, so I don't know that that sounds appealing. Yeah, at this point, I'm willing to just chump block this for a bit of life. Reducing the threat of an Alpha Strike is really the only thing that I need to do right now. Lae'zel isn't scary because I've got 1 mana up for Viconia. There's the other Lae'zel. That has to specialize into blue if it's going to specialize into anything. I mean, I guess they could specialize into white. They specialize into black, which is a bad choice. Oh, no, maybe not. Maybe they specializing into black to trigger Diviner of Fates is just worth triggering the Diviner of Fates, even if they don't get any value out of the specialization. As he can't specialize into blue by targeting Viconia. Deny the opponent their Clement. Play our Diviner of Fates. Break Expectations, I think, is the better discard here. Expressive, looking for Ray. Perfect. We put Ray in hand so that we can discard it. And we even get an untapped black land so that this is actually a 2-for-1. Sweet. Now we hope the opponent doesn't have a removal spell here. Would be awkward if they did. They don't. Perfect. Now, we're drawing 3 cards out of 6, so there is the possibility that we fail to get a Ray back from this, which would be a bummer. That's not a Ray. That's not a Ray. That's a Ray. Sweet. Never punished. Alright, so we can trade with one Lae'zel, chump block the other. Actually, we can kill the other Lae'zel if we wanted to Ray it, even. Okay, I tapped down my chump blocker. That's mean, but understandable. The opponent's got some cards going on. 2 Calims in the yard is actually kind of concerning, other than the fact that we have Power Word Kill to deal with them, so that's less concerning. I'm incentivized to trade off with their large Lae'zel at this point. The one that can flicker, just to remove it. Because I can kill the other Lae'zel with a Ray, mostly at my leisure. They could negate this Ray. Do I have the capacity to make blocks that kill Lae'zel anyway? No, so I might as well make this block and then Ray the Lae'zel. They can kill my Diviner. Oh, I guess I could have double blocked to stop a removal spell on Diviner of Fates from saving the Lae'zel. That actually was a good reason to double block. They've only... Oh, they've drawn 2 cards since the beginning of their turn. Yeah, okay. They didn't have the removal spell at the beginning of turn, so I didn't really think about what that would mean if they top-decked one, but yeah, that's a bit of a lost value. Although I forced them to Infernal Grasp a Diviner of Fates instead of a Reflection of Kiki-Jiki, which might actually be worse for them. They want the Calim into play, so they're doing this now while I'm tapped out and can't stop it with Viconia. Understandable-ish. I want to kill the Calim before they have a chance to draw into a negate. have Diviner, which is going to discard the Calim. Would not mind it drawing other Calims at this point, I don't think. And in fact, I don't think we mind discarding this Calim to hand size either. Means that now this other Calim activation actually puts a Calim into play. I have one Ray that we can draw into off of cycling Calim, potentially. I can Calim to tap down Lae'zel. We've definitely left them some Diviner of Fates in play, though. So it's going to be kind of a grind, especially if they find a removal spell to kill the reflection and deny me that card advantage angle. Okay. How many Calims do they have in the yard? 2. So 2 Calim cycles, which are really likely to be possible, result in another Calim into play. That's not ideal. 2 Calim cycles actually also do a lot of damage. Well, I guess it's less of a problem if they have a Calim in play now that we're going to have a Calim in play too. Didn't draw the Ray. Okay. Life total's mostly fine to take this attack with. Even if they tap down our 2 creatures here. There's a Lae'zel. Sure. If they have untapped land, they can specialize that for black. And then still cycle Calim, and I can't stop the Calim at that point. It looks like that is what they have and are choosing to do. Oh, or they just don't have anything and are just specializing it to make it bigger. Okay. So this one's power word killable. It's also just tappable with Calim. The other one's kind of a chump block problem. Do I activate Reflection on end of turn, or do I not actually bother? I probably do want to bother. Do I play another Fable? That's going too low on mana, I think. Do I start clocking my opponent with Calim? I believe so. How many instants do I have left? 3. So I actually think I discard this power word kill to Diviner of Fates. So that I can go tutor up more instants. Infernal Grasp, the Lae'zel that I can kill, chump block the other one, discard some lands down to hand size. I think we actually keep as many untapped lands as possible. I just want to be playing untapped lands for as many turns into the future as I'm capable of doing so. So we still have the Ray. The remaining instants are just Infernal Grasp. 20 cards left in deck. Infernal Grasp targeting Viconia, kind of annoying. Have we used up the other Viconia already? Do I still have the other Viconia in my deck? I still have the other Viconia in my deck. So, what do we want to exile in response here? Probably Calim's? Does that matter enough to me? Huh. So what if I were to Ray the Diviner in response to cut you off card advantage in the long term? How do you respond to this? Do you cycle the Calim now? They do. Targeting that. So I actually then only have to exile the one Calim, and that trigger is gone, but I might as well exile the other Calim. Okay. Oh, I am dead if they have 2 more Calims in hand. Maybe exiling anything there was a mistake, and I was supposed to Calim targeting Lae'zel. Oh, shoot. I might have just thrown this. Okay, I did not, thankfully. And/or they missed it. Mercies. Raffine targets Trespasser, forces me to chump. Can't also swing with Diviner, can only swing with the one. I mean, I guess I can just choose not to trump the Trespasser with the Diviner. That's probably correct. I'm actually running out of removal here, weirdly enough. There's all the Calims. I really don't want the opponent to block this Calim with the Raffine. They don't. That's good. Okay, so I need 7 mana for cycling Calims. If I choose to have 1 mana for Reflection, then I can't play the Fable. Do I have any instance I can draw into? I have 1 Infernal Grasp that I can draw into. Not enough mana to play Fable, huh? Okay. Sure. Deal. Passes turns to night. Clement specializing for black would be annoying. The fact that I don't have a fourth blue source here is such a problem. Opponent's down on clock. Opponent specializing for white is not a problem. Citystalker's nifty. I don't really care about the opponent tapping Diviner. So the three creatures that I'm going to tap are what? No, not Raffine. Raffine's irrelevant. Clement, Lae'zel, and Glutton? Lae'zel's not actually going to tap. Oh, Lae'zel could get back Viconia on this blink? That's kind of annoying. Still, it's correct to go for tapping Lae'zel. So if they have two instant speed taps here and I don't draw Infernal Grasp, I die. I think it's pretty much guaranteed they have two Calims too. Alright, I think we might be at draw Infernal Grasp or lose territory. I don't actually know how I can win, because they can just tap stuff down on my turn with Calim, too. They discarded two Calims? Wait, what? They have four? We can still draw into Infernal Grasp off of this. Did not succeed there. Opponent leaving up 6 mana and not going for lethal, huh? I can't believe not having the fourth blue source is like what's losing me this game right now. Which is kind of surprising. Lae'zel, Citystalker, Infernal Grasp is what's remaining. Oh, and a bunch of Calims. So I guess we discard Calim. Wait, I might have needed that Calim. Okay, we drew the Calim. Okay. Okay, so what do I do now that I didn't find the Infernal Grasp to survive that attack with my reflection still in play? I might be able to do this, but I don't think I have enough mana. Oh no. They have exactly enough mana to stay alive? Wait, no, is there a Viconia in my graveyard? Would I have enough mana to do that if there was? No, there's not. Is there Viconia in their graveyard? Yes, there is. So I can do 2 damage to them with that. I don't think there's any way I have enough mana to do lethal here, though. If I had more mana... How is it that I'm actually still short on mana after making land drops for this long? I can attack for 6 with Calim. I don't believe I get to steal theirs. What about Lae'zel with haste? Does that accomplish anything? They can't tap down a Lae'zel with haste. Maybe that's good enough? I don't know if I have enough mana for this, though, still. Yeah, I think I still wind up short. Yeah, I wind up way short. Shoot. I had like 4 more mana. 3 more even was all it took. Because they can't actually tap down this Lae'zel. So I could have given a hasty Calim with Viconia, which was good for 6. I was short by 1 point. They messed up by tapping down my Calim at sorcery speed instead of in combat, but I couldn't really punish it. Wow. I guess I left Diviners of Fate in play for too long. I am blown away I managed to lose that game. I feel like I must have done something critically wrong and not noticed it. Because I had the advantage at every stage of that game and somehow still lost. Huh. It'll probably be one worth going back and taking a look at. I suppose probably that comes down to me not having put a land on blue when I should have. if I ever had the choice. Because I think one more blue source on the previous turn wins me that game. Maybe not, because I needed to tap down 2 creatures. Oh no, you know what did? Not double blocking with the Diviner of Fates. That absolutely was a game-losing mistake, because they wound up having another creature threatening me for multiple turns. Take the play. This hand is reasonable. I don't know that I'm supposed to Expressive on 2 here. Or rather, Expressive on 3. Don't want the land. Potentially I wasn't supposed to play that Crossroads so that I could actually cycle Calim. Uncertain. Opponent gets the first Calim cycle. Could be useful eventually for them. I hope they go Diviner here. They don't. Alright, well. That means it's time for me to cycle Calim. Opponent has already represented Jwari this game. Do I Expressive? I think that means I Expressive. Hoping to hit an untap land to hold up Power Word Kill. Leaving myself pretty vulnerable to Tasha here. Okay. They just use a counterspell. That's cool too. Clement's fine. I'd love if they tried to specialize Clement. That seems hyper aggressive. Please do, opponent. Thank you. Alright, Clement dies. No specialization for the opponent. Lae'zel. Specialize into blue or specialize into white? Can't. No, can't specialize into white. So blue it will be. Calim. Alright, not bad. Slightly restricted by the lack of blue sources, but not terrible. Diviner of Fates. Yeah, that's a card the opponent has. Kill opposing Diviner of Fates. Get to push through some damage. Discard Expressive Iteration to get Diviner of Fates. Combat in 6. Lae'zel. Sure. Specialize into black would be a problem. Yeah. Alright. tap Lae'zel. They allow tap to resolve. If I can draw any removal spell that isn't 3 mana right now, I can kill the Diviner and then Soul Servitude the Lae'zel, and that'll be huge. Oh, no, they get a Diviner that isn't dead to Ray. So I need a 2-mana removal spell, and I'll be in a good spot. Fail to find. Okay. Okay, and the plan is to put the last points of damage through with Calim. I'm really lucky I drew an untapped blue source. Oh, I didn't need to use blue to cast the Diviner. It just auto-tapped into that. Sure. Alright, so we have the capacity to put Calim into play. Diviner of Fates I just don't care about. Opponent knows we have Calim. Clement's cool. Don't care about Clement. I don't want to let the opponent untap with that, so in response to the untap trigger, I'm tapping Diviner of Fates. Would love to seek more Clement, because that's currently close to lethal. Fail to find a Clement. Ray's Diviner. Alright, so needs to hold back chump blockers for Lae'zel. Wants to trade Lae'zels, understandably. So they need to continuously answer Calim's. I believe I want to trade Lae'zel for Lae'zel here. Their Viconia is going to represent, or their Clement's going to represent gaining them up to 6 life. That's kind of a problem. Can this target me? Yes. Okay. Alright. Well, isn't that adorable? That was a mistake. I wasn't supposed to play the Xander's Lounge. Discarding that to Viconia might have been relevant. Alright, so if the opponent's plan turns into gain life with Clement, we have a counterplay. Oh, playing the untapped land also meant that I could play around Jwari Disruption with Soul Servitude. They don't Clement into white, which means their plan is to tap down the Calim. Which means I have to Soul Servitude them. Yeah, Jwari Disruption. Oh, wait. Then, opponent, how are you... Untap land. Okay. So we take 11 down to 5. No. Opponent isn't willing to risk... Wait. In what way does attacking with Clement risk anything? Oh, just an actual removal spell? 2, 3... Playing that Xander's Lounge was so costly. That was a huge error. Oh, that's why, because they were going to do 2 damage with it. Wait. So lethal? What's the cheapest spell I can cast? Clement. Get over here, friend. Good job, Diviner of Fates being drawn. And I am behind on time in game 3. Humana. Part of me kind of wants to play Elspeth Resplendent and see if giving my stuff flying is viable here. I don't know. We'll make it up. What better time to start making up new strategies than the point in the game at which you're at 7 minutes left in game 3. What's good to grab from the Bind to Secrecy spellbook? Pretty much nothing. The main appeal is that it has more colors than Negate, which is actually good because you want to specialize Lae'zel into black so often. The specialization is rarely used. The Bind to Secrecy spellbook is rarely relevant. I mean, sometimes it is, but you don't get to it very often. And sometimes getting to copy your opponent's Calims out of their graveyard can be useful. I should have not spent my sideboard so I could go use the restroom. Alright. Opponent takes the play. We'll keep this. Would like to draw a Diviner at this point. There might have been a turn where I was supposed to play Xander's Lounge. Nah, I can cycle it. Yeah, opposing Calim. Scary. They have no incentive to exile anything with Viconia. There's the weird Tasha. Sure.
Ooh, a fight. Perfect. I haven't lost one of those in decades. Don't try anything cheeky now.
Still only one Calim in the yard. Oh, if they have an edict, I die. Well, I hope they don't have an edict. I wonder if that was a reason to play the Fable.
Beware.
He's threatening to ultimate now.
Sickening magic.
That's a really good draw. Lae'zel, specialize for black, discarding Diviner of Fates, reanimate Diviner of Fates, discards Fable. Have to punch the Tasha, unfortunately.
Look at you. You know I'm a brilliant witch, right?
Don't need second Viconia. Okay, weird position.
Don't come any closer.
Lae'zel. Alright. Tough. And the Fable draws are not helping. Or the land draws are not helping. Okay, how do we do this? Somehow get the opponent into a position where they are spending more time on each of their decisions than I am?
Don't try anything cheeky now.
So I could Calim tap Diviner to kill Tasha? Die on the backswing, that sounds kind of bad. Ray, kill Diviner, kill Tasha. I believe I like that. Does it work, opponent? Counter the Ray. Bummer. Specialize into blue Ray Diviner. Don't swing with Lae'zel. Nah, I'm taking too long. I need this to draw a land. No luck. Okay, no attacks. Took way too long on that, too. I have an angle to outgrind this game, but I don't know that I'll actually be able to get there. That's a weird choice. I want to chump block with the 2/2 anyway. Are they getting Viconia back? Or are they getting Calim back at sorcery speed here? Potentially problematic. Yeah. That's no good. Alright, so chump blocking Lae'zel with a 2/2. Untap land lets us tap down Calim. Infernal Grasp lets us just straight up kill Calim. Alright, that's nifty. 1, 2, 4. Tasha threatens ultimating eventually, which is going to require me to actually do some damage to it. That could be weird. Need to make these decisions faster, though. Kind of just doing this now for the auto yield value. Oh, timing on that was bad.
I've made some improvements over your version.
No, I think I take this damage. Going to 2 is super risky because it means that future Viconias are lethal from the opponent. More Calims. Oh, I should have cycled the Calim in response to that, maybe? Sack the Calim to the Soul Shatter instead? Tasha down tick is useless now. Well, not useless, I guess. They can still get the ETB.
Don't worry. It's only a little moment.
So they get a Clement out of it, essentially. Oh. I missed that they had that in their graveyard. Shoot. Okay. That's a problem. Yeah, they have lethal if they go for exiling their own thing. Yeah. I don't have a removal spell at instant speed to stop it. So I had to give him a Calim? Yeah, I had to give him a Calim. I doubt that I get to make them play around Jwari. Yeah. Did I have an option if I chump blocked Lae'zel last turn? Maybe that would have been a better way to play towards clock, but I felt like I needed the value from Diviner. So if I give them Calim, I have Calim to answer it. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough spot to be in.